us reconstruct the events as they happened.
Use the police department.
Every day across America, cops respond to thousands of calls for help. And sometimes that means confronting their worst fears. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of people in danger and the race against time to save their lives on Rescue 911. We begin in the quiet residential neighborhood of Prospect Park, Pennsylvania, on the evening of July 27th, 1989. Around 9:30 p.m., a call came into the police.
Police radio 41.
Yeah, this is man tagging the Atlantic station on 420.
Yeah.
There's two guys down here stealing a car, man.
One man tagging us, right?
Yes.
That's 4th and Lincoln, right?
Yes, and the boss says it's not cool.
Hold on a sec. Hey, Paul. Prospect Park, 4th and Lincoln. Theft of a vehicle in progress.
33, 4th and Lincoln. Supposed to be a theft of auto in progress.
3324 responding.
When the call came in, Officer Ed Kenzel was less than a mile away.
The call was very vague at first, and I started heading down to the area. I imagined that the dispatcher had just gotten first-hand information and put it out to us.
Two white males, black males?
Two white guys.
Two white males.
They both have mustaches.
Two white males I got so far.
Officer Paul Stoltz was on patrol in an unmarked car.
I heard Prospect Park answer up for the call, at which time I proceeded into the location to back them up.
What kind of car? What kind of vehicle are you trying to get? What's the...
It's a Grand National.
What's the... It's a black one?
Black Grand National, yes.
Black Grand National. It's a black Buick Grand National.
When I pulled up to it, I believed that it was someone with car problems.
Looks like they're working on it.
Okay, guys, hold it. Hold it. Stop where you are. Hold it. Stop.
Wait, wait. Stop.
Okay, over here, over here. Against the car. Spread them, spread them.
I thought that it'd be a normal arrest. The suspect would be taken into custody without any real problem.
Bill Nichols, the third officer to arrive, lived just across the street from the gas station with his 14-year-old son and his wife, Julie.
First thing that alerted me that something was wrong was when I saw a Norwood police car go by my house. Bill was in there with his van, and I told my son, they're right down at the gas station. Let's go see what's happening.
Paul's chasing him. We put this suspect in the back of Officer Nichols' vehicle.
Get it. Watch your feet.
You got it.
I had made several repeated calls to him to stop, which he refused. He continued to flee.
Officer Nichols radioed to follow him into a alleyway, at which time I pulled behind him. He asked if I would sit and watch the prisoners in back of the truck. He ran through the woods to where you can hear Officer Stoltz yelling for help.
All right, Paul, hold on.
The suspect was very strong. He wouldn't give in. He wouldn't let me cuff him.
Bill, over here.
A neighbor came up and informed me that there was a large fight and a lot of noise going on at 5th and Lincoln, behind the houses.
I was yelling out, screaming for help because it was dark. No other officers really knew where I was at that time. And I heard Officer Nichols' voice coming, and I could see his flashlight.
Got his hand! Get his arm!
Police from Norwood, Prospect Park, and Ridley Park continue to arrive, including Officer Harold Snyder.
I could hear a commotion on the other side of a creek, so I notified the other officers by radio, and I started up there on foot.
Get his arm! I got his arm!
He was already parked on that side street, and I figured that's very odd. Bill wouldn't leave a prisoner in his van, even though it's locked, without somebody being there.
Seemed like the more we fought with him, the more he liked to fight, and the stronger he got. I wasn't aware that Bill was shot at first. I heard the round go off, and then I heard Bill say, "I'm hit." He shot me. He's got my gun.
When we continue,
I remember him telling me he was fighting to stay with us, because I knew the whole time he knew he was dying.
Hang in there! Jimmy, I need to turn.
This is a terrific gift idea. Save $20 on this Craftsman Buffer Polisher, specially packaged for Father's Day. Now only $49.99. And for more Craftsman Father's Day gifts, get to Sears.
I put off going to the doctor. But this burning stomach kept waking me up at night. Finally, I just went. I can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He said I had heartburn. And heartburn like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Now available in cherry and cool mint cream flavors.
They're right. New Diet Dr. Pepper does taste more like regular Dr. Pepper.
So let's have another.
New Diet Dr. Pepper. There's no stopping the taste.
Police officer Bill Nichols had been shot at point-blank range with his own .357 Magnum by a suspect who was being arrested. When the shot was fired, Officer Nichols' wife, Julie, and 14-year-old son, Bill Jr., were near the scene.
When I first heard those shots, I said they must be firing warning shots to make him stop.
I quick twisted the weapon away from the direction of Officer Nichols. But I could feel the strength of this man. He was so strong, and he was pulling the gun back towards Officer Nichols. So I put my thumb in behind the trigger guard to stop the travel of the trigger.
You can't shoot.
And then this man pulled the trigger again and again and again, at least 6 times. And I was saying, stop struggling. You have a weapon. You're going to force us to kill you. And indeed, at that time, we had the moral and legal right to kill this man. But he cursed at me and said, kill me. Go ahead, kill me. He didn't care.
I could hear Paul Stoltz yell to me that Bill's been shot. Get an ambulance.
The situation was bordering on chaotic at first. There was a lot of confusion as to the proper location of the police officer.
He was so very strong, and I believe at the time he was on drugs, and that tripled his efforts.
I could feel the gun, then I just started pulling. I had to tell Ed about 2 or 3 times that it was okay that I had the gun.
I could hear hollering and screaming. I could see some officers in the distance, but I couldn't pick Bill out at all.
An unbelievable amount of blood coming out of Officer Nichols. And I kept telling Officer Bill that it's going to be all right. The more I looked at Bill while I'm telling him this, the more I knew that I was lying to him. I grabbed the beach towel and I was just trying to control that bleeding. He was getting worse in 5 and 10 second increments.
I remember saying to myself, please God, don't let him die, because I could see him bleeding real bad. His color, you could just see him turning pale white.
We got officers on the street to track on the Lincoln Avenue on the rear alley, 500 block.
Off-duty paramedic Mike Eckenrode heard the dispatchers struggling to pinpoint an exact location.
We're at the firehouse, and based on what we were hearing and the confusion that was apparent on the radio, we felt that maybe the crew that was on needed a hand. So at that point in time, the three of us went to the scene to see if we could render some assistance.
It's an indescribable feeling. It's grief, it's heartache, it's helplessness, it's terror, it's everything you can think of mixed into one moment.
The first paramedic on the scene was Michelle Ottaviano.
At that point in time, I wasn't 100% sure where the person who did the shooting was. It was a pretty scary situation. It wasn't until I knelt down next to the person who wasn't moving on the ground that I saw the uniform and realized it was a police officer that had gotten shot. That apparently had nicked an artery, the femoral artery. And with severing the femoral artery, every time your heart pumps, it pushes the blood out in spurts.
Michelle, what do you need?
There was an awful lot of confusion and commotion around the scene. I looked down and realized that the guy laying on the ground was Billy Nichols. And I've worked in the town where I'd go on an ambulance call and Bill would come in and give me a hand carrying my equipment or, whatever needed to be done. It's a pretty rude awakening when you look down and see somebody kind of like looking back at you. That's pretty tough to do.
We're a small town here. Prospect Park is a little town. I didn't want Bill's wife hearing about it from the neighbors. I wanted me to tell her. That was my responsibility.
Very rarely do you see somebody who is critical as Bill was stay conscious. I remember him telling me he was fighting to stay with us because I knew the whole time, being a police officer, I knew he was dying, and that's what he was doing. He was dying. He was bleeding out massively.
I started getting the feeling that maybe something was wrong, that I told my son to go back up to the road and look down to our house and to see if there's a police car in front.
He was looking really bad. You begin to know that look. That's a look of a dying person. There's no doubt about it. And the more you look at it, and the more you work on the street, the more you see it. It's the look of a dying man. It really is.
When the ambulance left with Bill in the back, I really thought that we'd be gone to a police funeral in a few days.
Officer Kenzel drove Bill Jr. back to where his mother was.
I said, he's been shot, doesn't look too good, but he's still alive now, and let's pray. And we did.
All right, Michelle, you're on their back.
It was about 5 or 6 minute ride from the scene to the hospital. The condition that Bill was in, every action and every moment really counted. You couldn't delay 5 or 10 minutes one way or the other.
Bill Nichols was immediately rushed into surgery. His condition was critical.
I had like a peace, a total calm that came over me. I just knew he would be okay. It would be bad, but I never had the feeling that he was going to die.
10 months have gone by. The man who shot Bill Nichols was convicted of aggravated assault. Bill has not forgotten the debt he owes to his best friend, Officer Ed Kenzel.
If it wasn't for him being there as quickly as he was and using his knowledge in placing his thumb behind the trigger, the suspect might have easily fired more rounds off. One of the primary reasons I'm alive today is because of my fellow officer, Ed Kensel.
This brings back memory, doesn't it?
The fact that I could do something to save his life tickles me up and down, because if anybody deserves being saved, it's him. And the fact that I can look at him now and see him smiling and laughing at my jokes, that's worth a million. I love it.
More than a year after the incident, Bill has returned to active duty as a police officer.
It's very different when it's somebody that you know well, worked close with over the years and known him and know his whole family. It hits home. And we're a big family. We live and almost die together.
I knew that everyone did what they had to do. Because they did it, I had a second chance at life. And no words can express the feeling of thankfulness towards those individuals.
I'm very lucky to have Bill around. No one could take his place. There's not another man like him. I love Bill with all my heart. I always have since I was 16. Until the day I die, there'll be nobody else but Bill.
Next, it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Just complete, total devastation.
You know, for the smallest jobs to great American homes, the paint more people count on is Sears Weather Beater, guaranteed to last. No matter where you live, no matter what the weather. For the paint, for the craftsman tools, guaranteed to last. Count on Sears, the home of America's craftsmen.
And now, Weather Beater Flat Finish is on sale, only $11.99. For the paint guaranteed to last. Get to Sears now.
The Dodge Spirit, the Plymouth Acclaim. Last year in consumer comparisons, 83 out of 100 people preferred the Acclaim and Spirit to Honda Accord. Both have a longer powertrain warranty than Honda, more interior room, and a driver's airbag. So what are you waiting for? A deal? All right. We're offering savings and incentives up to $2,250. Rediscover the great American family car values.
How long will the flavor of Carefree sugarless bubble gum last?
Getting those 3 blips on your screen?
Till pigs fly. Cavity-fighting Carefree bubble gum. The flavor lasts.
A1, it's how steak is done.
It's been years since you saw the girls you grew up with.
What about your sex life?
Now, how honest can you really afford to be?
You slept with my husband.
Bridesmaids, next. Tomorrow, a deadly explosion and some quick thinking result in a miracle. And a high-speed chase more terrifying than the movies. On a special half-hour Rescue 911.
Family man. Widowed. Late 30s. Sensitive.
Joe Brigetti. Dancing man, muscle man, and a family man.
Steve Taylor. Main man. Renaissance man. Family man.
Family man. Can't live with him, can't live without him.
An all-new Family Man, Wednesday.
There is a weapon in the war against AIDS. That weapon is information. The more you know, the safer you are. Find out the facts about AIDS.
For all of nature's beauty, there's another side that can be unpredictable, destructive, even deadly, as people throughout the Midwest discovered early in the summer of 1990.
Off in the distance, you could hear a rumble. You could hear it, you could feel it, and you knew what it was going to do.
I could hear the trees getting
crumbled, like there were giant hands that were just wadding trees up. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Just complete, total devastation.
On June 2nd, residents of the small town of Harrison, Ohio, were closely monitoring storm warnings on the local news.
Radar indicates that there's a severe storm right here. You see this just moving through the Harrison, Ohio area.
Watching the news together that night were John Payne and his wife Kathy and Doug Newscable, a friend and fellow firefighter.
Meaning that if you're in the path of the storm, take cover. This is nothing to mess around with. It's a very serious storm.
We immediately knew that we needed to get our kids who were asleep upstairs into the basement.
I went up to the kitchen to call my mom and to tell her to come up to my house because they didn't have a basement.
Her mother and 2 younger sisters lived a half a mile away.
She said no, that there wasn't enough time, that she would wake the girls up and they would take cover. Okay, sweetheart. So I hung up the phone feeling relieved that they were awake, and you didn't think it was going to come, you know, it was just to be prepared.
Tornadoes are very dangerous because they move very swiftly and you have a very short amount of time to react and to move to a safe area. In that time period, our pagers had gone off, and Doug and I then left for the firehouse.
As the storm worsened, off-duty firefighter Rob Haynes was also called down to the fire station.
And the wind was unbelievable, and the rain started coming down real hard. Then off in the distance, you could hear a rumble. It was like a diesel train pulling a long hill. And we saw a black column, a black formation, like a black cloud, just moving across the southwest end of town. And all I could think of was, you know, this is it. It's really happened.
When we continue.
And I said, let's get under the table for protection. And the lights went out.
Mom, where are you?
Judy Mosina alerted her daughters, Jean and Diane.
We've always had tornado watches, and I just thought it was another false alarm at first.
All of a sudden, we heard like glass busting down the road, like the dominoes.
And I said, let's get under the table for protection. And the lights went out.
Mom, where are you?
Emergency dispatcher Madigan.
I think we got hit with a tornado. 911 emergency dispatcher Skinner.
We've had, I guess a tornado go through here, and there's wires down all over the road. 911 emergency. A tornado must have went through. Our ceiling in the kitchen is gone.
The tornado struck, and we started getting phone calls of wires down, trees down in the roadway. Roofs collapsed on houses.
They live wires, ma'am?
Yeah. Is part of your roof on your house off?
Is everyone there okay?
We had approximately 280 calls in the first 35 minutes of the storm.
Okay, we'll get someone out there.
When the power went down, they had manually released the doors and rolled them up. Our dispatch center was calling for us. Everybody's running around the station trying to get things together. I kept thinking, you know, this can't be happening.
Fire Chief Alan Kennett directed the response from a mobile command unit.
Tornado knocked out all communications. There was nothing available to us to use other than our city band frequency.
For mutual aid, what should we use as a staging area? We're using Kmart on Harrison Avenue. They should all be familiar with that.
We had strictly unit-to-unit communications, and that was it.
381. We had several houses leveled, high property damage.
Every available emergency vehicle from as far as 20 miles away converged on the local staging area. EMT firefighter John Payne was in charge of coordinating the rescue efforts from there.
We had a number of vehicles, both ours and other departments, moving in and out. There was quite a bit of anxiousness, both from our people, because it was our town that was hit, and also the outlying communities wanting to help.
A Cincinnati news crew was sent to the scene for a live report on the tornado. Michael Benedict was the cameraman.
When I arrived, it was really kind of an eerie quiet. There were homes leveled on, both sides of the street and things like that. Natural gas lines had been hit. You could hear the hiss from the natural gas going off. I walked past this one house, and the house had been completely leveled. I mean, there was just maybe 2 walls standing. As I walked around the back of the house, the phone started ringing. It was amazing to see how much damage a storm like that could do.
We came to a dead stop because there were poles down. There was a transformer in the street, and the first thing we saw was this pile of rubble that used to be a house, and these 5 people stood up out of it. I mean, they stood up out of nothing.
A possible house completely demolished.
A tornado can hit in a heartbeat, and that's the thing probably that was the most difficult for us to handle, how we went from just a normal summer storm to this kind of disaster.
I came to a house that had been hit, and then half of it was completely gone, and the other half was leaning real bad. And I thought I heard something. So I reached over and I turned my radio down, and I called again, and I heard a faint voice, a woman's voice. And I thought, oh no. So I called again, and I asked them where they were. I said, where are you? And she said, we're in the kitchen. So I radioed to the chief. I said, I have 3 people trapped in this house, and he asked me where I was. And I thought, I have no idea. It was just so confusing. There was no way to tell where you were that night.
North State Street. When the call came through with the address of the entrapment, I knew right away that it was my mother-in-law and 2 sister-in-laws. The first thing that came across my mind was why that house.
The people are alert and talking to them.
I knew I had a job to do, but there was still a feeling of helplessness that I wanted to be down there with my family, but I knew that they were in good hands with my fellow firefighters. I walked up to the house that the people were trapped in, and one of the firemen came over to me and said, hey, we could use your light up here.
Well, this got about 10 minutes on it, so...
I said, you guys, you have to use this light pretty sparingly because it doesn't last very long.
Was the rain caught, Harry, or what?
I was amazed they were still alive. The roof, the wall, the end of the house, everything was down.
Harry Henson was the first paramedic on the scene.
When I first saw Jean, I just felt the weight of the rubble was resting on her shoulders, and that's the way it looked.
There's 2 more in there.
When I really got to checking above her and feeling above her and found out it wasn't, I was really, really surprised.
Mike, right there. Cut it out. 84 to me. All right. You got 1 victim out.
The worst fear of everybody was, the complete collapse of the structure before we had time to get the women out.
Jean's legs were numb by the time she was extracted from under the collapsed walls.
The other daughter, Diane, she informed me that she really was not trapped, that she just could not get out because Jean was in the way.
This one's supposedly in good shape. Okay.
There's a feeling of helplessness when you're in that kind of situation.
I've got an EMS unit down here.
My main worry was Jean because I didn't know if she was paralyzed, and my mom because my mom was still stuck in the house.
1 hour after the tornado hit, Judy was still buried under thousands of pounds of wreckage when her son-in-law, John, got to the scene.
After talking to the paramedics and talking to the girls, I knew that they were in fairly decent shape. In just a matter of seconds, they called and needed somebody to go into the back to assist the paramedic inside. I immediately took the initiative to go.
We decided to try the airbags at that time. If we tried to remove all the debris above her, that it was going to take a while. That we felt that we might be better off trying to lift it from underneath.
It was a slow process. Any sudden shift in the debris of the house might cause it to cave in on Judy.
I told her not to worry, that I was there, and I wouldn't leave her until we got her out.
John and Harry stayed inside the collapsed house with Judy for 20 minutes until the airbags raised the wreckage high enough to free her.
Put your arm in your butt, your head, go to your feet out. She's coming out, guys. Coming out. Nobody move. She's out. Yeah. Right. Easy, easy. The other guys are out. Make sure you other guys are clear before you let them down.
84 command.
No problem.
Go ahead. Everything's okay, man. Nice job.
It was overwhelming. I mean, you know, there were people there with tears in their eyes.
Everything that we do week in and week out in drills and training, it gets monotonous. But at some time or other, it pays off, and you use it, and it all comes together.
One of the worst fears a firefighter or an EMT has is to come on a scene and have it be his own family. That was probably the worst part of the whole thing.
Harrison was devastated by the tornado that night, but no one was killed.
When I went down to the site the next day and saw the house, I couldn't believe that we got out of there alive.
When I saw it, I cried. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea that it had been that bad. I just thought things in the house had fallen on us, and maybe a wall or two fell down. I had no idea that the whole house was completely flattened.
1 month later, the Mosina family has already begun rebuilding on their old site. And although 20-year-old Jean is recovering from a broken back, they know it could have been much worse.
When I think that I lived through a tornado, I feel very lucky to have made it through. I feel that it was a team effort that night, that there wasn't just one person that rescued us. I feel that it was the whole rescue team that deserves credit for it.
The Mosinas will never again live in a house without a basement. They've been deeply affected by what they've been through.
Every time a storm comes by or a black cloud, you think, how bad is this storm going to be? And you watch. You don't go on with your normal life like you did before. You have that fear that something like that can happen again.
This incident has drawn our entire family closer together, and it's a very rewarding feeling.
We're indebted to a lot of people for all the help that they've given us.
Every time I walk in a firehouse, I think of how much I owe my fellow firefighters for what they did for me and my family.
Next.
Yeah, we've got a baby.
He mentioned that the legs were out, and I knew that we had complications right then and there.
Dead. It looks dead? Yeah.
Now you can enjoy the drink that's been on every Russian space mission. Sputnik, made with 10% real beet juice and 20...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and...
Concentrate, Lisa. What are you thinking about?
I don't think we can afford it. I don't know what else to say.
Is there something going on that I should know about?
You gotta come home.
Talent and hard work can take our Olympic hopefuls only so far. That's why Minute Maid will continue to make a contribution to the U.S. Olympic Hopeful Fund every time you buy a Minute Maid product. Together, we can take them all the way.
We're back at the Wheaties Whole Grain Games for the 100% Dash.
Wheaties takes the early lead. The competitors are dropping back, and made with 100% whole grain, Wheaties wins.
Those guys didn't even finish this race.
Join us tomorrow as the games continue.
Rescue 911 will continue.
Looking
looking for a good time in the morning?
If sex were fast food, there'd be an arch over your bed.
Then we've got Designs on You. Designing Women in the Morning, weekdays on CBS.
An unseen psychopath has invaded her life.
He's after me, my friends, my mother, my son.
Jill Clayburgh stars. Fierce Talk, Friday.
She's pushing marriage, he's pushing 60. Something's gotta give.
What's wrong with Grandpa? What always happens when older men play with younger women.
Sunday dinner, followed by the surprise hit of summer, all in the family classics.
You know you're right, Archie. The Irish are boozers, the Mexicans are bandits, and you Polacks are meatheads.
Beginning after 60 Minutes Sunday.
This is CBS.
Feel the distance fading every time you call. So good to share the feeling. You can touch them all. Oh, hey. Hello, everyone. You've got so much to tell. Hello, everyone. South Central Bell.
This is a can of severe weather paint from Lowe's. It tested better than 5 leading brands. It also has a 15-year durability rating. If you paint your house with this paint in 1991, you won't have to paint it again until the year 2006. Think about it. Severe weather paint from Lowe's. The paint that gets 15 years to the gallon.
Cheers. Weeknights after Eyewitness News on TV 10.
On Monday, April 16th, 1990, 18-year-old Tisha Walker and her mother, Frances Hubbard, left the Indian reservation where they lived and headed out across the desolate swamplands of Florida.
Alligator Alley is a 2-lane road that connects east and the west coast of Florida.
It's in the middle of the Everglades, so it's out there. The nearest hospital is a good hour away.
There's only 1 or 2 service stations across the whole stretch of Alligator Alley, and if you don't stop at one of those and you have a problem, you're in a lot of trouble.
For both Frances and her daughter Tisha, the Miccosukee Service Plaza was the nearest place to go for gas and food. Because they had no phone at home, any emergency meant a 16-mile trip to the plaza, where their cousin, Janice Osceola, was a cashier.
When Frances first came in, she was, visibly upset. She, was almost in tears. Jim, get out here. I just stopped what I was doing and went to the phone and dialed 911. That's the only thing I knew to do, right away.
The call came in at 2:11 p.m.
Do you need police, fire, paramedics?
You need paramedics?
And what city is help needed? What city are you?
Snake Road and Alligator Alley.
What's the problem out there?
She's having a baby. She's having a miscarriage.
With the medical helicopter in use elsewhere, ground rescue units were immediately dispatched, but it would take them at least 34 minutes to reach the scene.
Hello?
Yeah, this is Jim Parkman. I'm the general manager.
Okay, remain on the line for paramedics, okay? He's going to talk to you.
Okay, hold on. I have to disconnect the phone. This is a cellular phone, okay? So
as soon as you pull the plug, it's basically anybody's guess how long it's going to last.
Are you still on? Can you hear me?
Yes, hold on for rescue, okay?
Okay. Hello? Yes, this is Jim Parkman. I'm the general manager out at the station. Yeah.
The call was transferred to a paramedic specially trained to handle medical emergencies, Craig Cusinelli.
Situation? Yeah, I'm familiar with the girl. They said she's having a miscarriage. All right, how old is she? She's about 19, 20 years old. All right.
Our computer setup for caller aid has basic information as far as what to do to sustain a life until the paramedics do get there.
Is she bleeding very heavy?
Yeah, the baby's already out.
It's already out? The baby is already out. It's already coming out. All right. About how old is that fetus? How many months was she pregnant? She's about, how many months? 9 months. Oh, so we have a baby there, right?
But when I found out it wasn't a miscarriage, it was an actual delivery, then I knew that we were playing with two different scenarios here. We had to take care of both the mother and the baby now.
Yeah, we've got a baby. It's dead. Yeah, it looks dead.
It looks dead?
Yeah.
Stuck in there.
The head's stuck in there. You want me to try and pull her out?
All right, if the head is stuck in there...
He mentioned that the legs were out, and I knew that we had complications right then and there.
Don't pull too hard.
Okay.
And check to see if the cord's wrapped around the neck.
Okay. Yeah, the arm's stuck up around its head, and it looks like the umbilical cord may be choking him.
Okay, we got to get that umbilical cord away from that baby. It's unwrapped around from the neck here.
Okay. I'm trying to pull it out as easy as I can.
Okay.
Try and push this. Push tissue. Push tissue up.
When Kathy Banks, a home health nurse, stopped at the station for a drink, she heard about the situation.
If you're having a miscarriage, you will lose a lot of blood, so I just wanted to make sure that the mother was not going into shock.
Do it. Okay, we got a nurse on location.
I have never delivered a baby in my life. I felt terror, frustration, scared to death. I wanted to run, but I turned around to see, is there anyone behind me? No one was there, and I just thought, well, I have to deliver this baby.
Oh, okay. Okay, do you have any urge to push? Yes. Okay, what's up?
I really was scared. We had no way of getting back if we got disconnected.
Is the head still in?
Yes.
All right, the baby is not all the way out yet.
Meconium, I see meconium, the baby's head's in.
Their meconium, which is the baby's first bowel movement, was all over the place, so I knew that baby was in dire need of being delivered.
Give me a rag, somebody. Anything. Shirt?
It's a sticky substance, and if you inhale that, that sticks to your air passages, and it's hard to get air into the lungs that way.
Okay, she's bleeding, it's a mess. Help me out.
All right, okay, what she's going to need to do is we're going to have to try to get the kid's head out of there.
Okay. Push the baby. Push the baby. Push. Hold her leg. Push the baby. Push the baby. Come on, push. Push, come on, almost out. Almost out. Baby's out. Baby's out.
Baby's out, okay, now, check to see, try to get that kid breathing. Turn her upside down, feet, head down, feet up. Tap the bottom of the feet. Let's see if we can get some,
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
The nurse had mentioned to me that there was no pulse, no respirations, and it appeared to be a stillborn.
The meconium was all over. It was in the mouth, in the nose. So I had to suck the meconium out with my mouth.
Come on.
Is the mouth clear?
Mouth's clear. Baby, turn and blow.
Now you're going to have to start blowing into the baby's mouth and
Baby's
nose.
trying to cough. She's trying to cough.
All right, that's good. All right.
Okay, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, dear God, please. Come on.
Still nothing yet, huh?
Nothing yet.
We had to get oxygen into the baby's system, and the only way of doing that would be by somebody giving mouth to mouth and nose on the infant.
Is the chest rising when she's doing that?
Okay, hold on, I'll tell you.
All right.
We're getting the baby in position.
All right.
4 breaths?
4 breaths?
Yeah.
Yes.
And ask her if the chest...
On a newborn baby, CPR can do some damage. However, we had to keep trying. We had to do the CPR on the infant.
Anybody who's qualified besides you?
Okay. Tell the nurse she's doing a good job. And I'm going to pull her through, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, I want you to definitely check her pulse, right? Have her take her index finger and the middle finger over the child's left nipple, but don't press too hard. And feel for about 5 seconds. And ask her if she feels anything.
Do you feel anything?
The baby had no motion, no movement. It was just like holding a rag doll with no life in it.
The compression rate she's going to need to do around 100, between 100 and 120.
I was very concerned. Maybe it just wasn't time for this mother and for this baby.
When we continue.
Over the radio, it didn't sound very good. Of all the bad things that can happen during a delivery, every one of them happened to this baby.
This year, there are Father's Day gifts in bad taste and good taste. Bad taste and good taste. Bad, good. And a Baskin-Robbins ice cream cake that's in good taste for Dad is in good taste for everyone.
Attenzione. Cos'è questa cosa qua?
It's the Canon Futura.
Guarda qua attenzione.
With futuristic flash and long-range power zoom lens. The Futura from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
What's that? It's a new mustard. French's creamy spread. What's so new about it? It's made for turkey and chicken. It tastes great. But I was made on turkey. Me too. Look, we're not getting any younger. We gotta watch out for cholesterol and stuff. Why? Remember the Surgeon General's report? Oh, yeah.
New French's Creamy Spread, a mild mustard that won't overpower. Low in fat, cholesterol-free. It's the right taste for light foods.
What's a Surgeon General?
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
All my dreams never know fire.
Now there's a new way to plug into freshness. New Glade Plug-ins Potpourri.
Plug it in to freshen the air.
Glade Plug-ins freshen for 30 days.
Plug it in to freshen everywhere.
Gently, constantly warms this refill cartridge.
Plug it in the bathroom. Plug it in the den.
Now in a new fresh potpourri scent.
Plug it in once. Plug it in again.
Plug into freshness with Glade Plug-ins Potpourri.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
Eye on America. School used to be reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now this school is teaching something unusual, something wonderful.
They get to use their talents and their abilities. And kids respond to that, and the teachers feel good about what they're doing.
Is it working? Find out on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather tomorrow.
Wednesday.
I like you. I like you a lot.
Will Jake commit a murder to catch a thief?
Whatever the lady wants, the lady gets.
On Jake and the Fat Man. Then, do you have to grow old? How far would you go to stay forever young?
Cheeks.
Eyelids.
Dermabrasion.
48 hours after Jake and the Fat Man.
Kathy Banks had been on the phone with paramedic Craig Cusinelli for almost 10 minutes, trying to breathe life into the baby born without a pulse or a heartbeat. And help was still 30 miles away.
We need somebody here real quick.
I know. The only problem is you're so far out there.
Rescue units were still miles away. Paramedic Lisa Tassi was worried.
Over the radio, it didn't sound very good. The baby sounded like it was going to be very sick. Of all the bad things that can happen during a delivery, every one of them happened to this baby. So what we did, my partner and I, on the way out there, is we prepared for the worst. We prepared that this baby would be in respiratory or cardiac arrest.
Okay, now, go back over the left nipple and check for that pulse.
Check over her left nipple and see if she's starting to have a pulse.
She's got a pulse.
She's got a pulse.
Very good, very good. We're looking fine. Everybody's doing a good job there.
Okay, and she's not as mild as she was, but she's taking very slow respirations.
I need to know what the pulse is, only because of the fact that it might not be high enough for the particular baby. The baby has to be between 100 and 120.
Baby's pulse is not that high.
Okay. In that case, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, give it a little bit more compressions here. We got to keep it going.
Janice Korn had once worked in the newborn care unit of a hospital.
Continue breathing for that baby because we have to get the respiration rate up.
Okay, so
all right?
one.
We're going to continue the 1 pump and 5 pumps. All right?
Okay. It was so small and it wasn't moving and it didn't do the normal things that babies do when they deliver.
Seeing the baby like that made me want to do something, anything that I could do that would make it respond, that would wake it up.
1 puff with 5 compressions? Yes. Good. Real good.
Oh.
There you go. What's going on?
Starting to hear some noise.
Is that the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of a sudden, the baby decided to take a breath of air. And when it did, I felt a little bit more relieved, but I knew we weren't out of the woods yet.
Hello?
Yeah.
I realized that the baby was not responding normally, and I knew how important it was for the baby to be responding well, because I have a brain-damaged child.
Doesn't look like a full-term baby to me.
No, it doesn't?
No.
All right, how's the respirations looking? I don't hear the baby crying anymore. I was just wondering.
She's just kind of, hold on a second. Hear that?
Yeah, I sure do.
We're spanking. She's real lethargic.
We're looking pretty good still.
Okay.
Unit should be there in about 5 minutes. Okay?
Yeah.
You guys are way ahead.
That's good. Little baby up by mommy. Put this baby in her arm.
I thought it was important for her to hold the baby and to touch her and be able to see her and feel her in the event that she didn't live. She would be able to look back on that and remember that and remember her.
Come on, yeah. Mom can see her. There she is.
Is baby's movements and everything picking up?
Yeah, we got more action out of her now, but not a lot.
Good, okay.
It seemed like hours, but actually it was probably around 45 minutes before the helicopters and the ambulance crew got there. It's a miracle that baby survived.
Good. And chopper should be flying overhead too.
Okay, how about if I let you go then? Everybody's here.
Okay. All right, I just want to congratulate you people. Tell everybody I said you guys did a great, great job.
Okie dokie.
This is what 911 is all about. People helping other people. And it just fell in place. And I wouldn't have asked for a better team. They did perfect out there as far as I was concerned.
Right before we got there, caller 8 advised us that the baby was breathing, the baby had a pulse of 160, and the baby was crying, which was very good. I basically cleaned her up a little more, gave her oxygen, I checked her heart out with the EKG, I took her vital signs again. Everything was normal for a newborn baby.
Can I help you out? Yeah, let's go.
The baby, still in guarded condition, was airlifted to the hospital. Her mother, Tisha, was stable enough to be transported by ambulance.
Everything's okay.
The baby would get to the hospital in about 5 or 6 minutes compared to ground transport was 35 minutes.
I'm glad they were there to help me, because if it wasn't for those people out there, she wouldn't be alive. She means a lot to me.
Baby Tricia has suffered no ill effects from her unusual birth.
I love this baby a whole bunch, more than anything in this world. I'm grateful for the nurse and the people that came out and saved my grandchild.
It just affects the way you look at life and to realize how fragile life is. And when you hold a life in your hand and you breathe this child back to life, it's an experience I'll never forget.
I'm just happy that she's alive, that she made it.
If you like Rice Krispies, try new triples. We think you'll do a triple take.
Triples is crisp like Rice Krispies and tastes so good you might just do a triple take. Triples has Rice Crisps, plus hearty wheat crisps and golden corn crisps for a taste so surprising that one spoonful could have you doing a triple take. Like Rice Krispies? Taste new Triples from General Mills. We think you'll do a triple take.
You know, they can come out with any technology they want, but this is going to be the future. With the Norelco, I get a very clean, comfortable shave. Because I have rough hands, and if I can feel smooth, then I like it. It's just so easy. You know, it's a 90s type product.
Now, Norelco's patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin.
It's very close, it's very comfortable, and it's clean.
The new Norelco, a new level of closeness and comfort.
Something shocking is going on at Sears. Ma'am, how much was that all-new LXI camcorder?
$649.99.
Wow, that is shocking.
Electro Days, now at Sears Brand Central.
Boy, you should drink a lot of orange juice.
Uh-huh.
If I drink a lot of orange juice, I get big as you.
Yeah, but, you'll still be my little brother.
100% pure Florida quality orange juice. It makes you feel so good.
The difference between life and death can often be determined by what bystanders do at the scene. We can all learn CPR and basic life-saving techniques. This series is dedicated to all the men and women who answer our calls for help and are there when we need them most. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories on Rescue 911.
Hello, Acadiana. This is Carl Darwin reminding you can hear Channel 10 Eyewitness News weeknights at 6 on KEUN Eunice, Louisiana's small market radio station of the year.